Hey guys, welcome to the challenge. I want to go over the nutrition program for the challenge in this video. Now, all the documents that you see in this video are in the manual, so make sure that you have that in front of you so that way you can take notes or make adjustment or any correction if needed. Okay. So here, as you see on this on the screen, there's four different tiers. Actually, there's only three on the document, but there are four tiers total on in the challenge. Okay, the fourth one is an advanced and customized program, meaning that we are very result driven here, making sure that no matter what tier you in, the end result is that you want to reach your goal, not to be at tier 3 or advanced program by the end of the challenge. So the advanced program is there just in case I need to put you into that to a customized program to make sure that you get the results. Again, we're not looking for you to be at a certain tier at the end of the challenge. So whatever tier you're in, it should give you results, bottom line. Okay. Now, there are four things that we're keeping track of during this challenge in terms of nutrition. You have your protein, your starchy carbohydrates, your vegetable, and your fat. Okay. The way you're going to measure serving sizes in this challenge is by using your hand. No matter where you go, you will always have that with you, and so it'll be easier to measure. Okay. Now, protein. One serving of protein is palm size and as thick as a deck of cards. So if you are making a sandwich and a slice of bologna or lunch meat on that sandwich does not make it a serving of protein. It's just not thick enough. Okay. And then the next thing that we're going to go to is your starchy carbohydrates. Now, with that, it has to be a cup handful. The most common question I get for that one is, how much is that, Tian? Is it a cup or a half a cup or 2 cups? That varies depending on the hand size. So what I recommend people do is, use your hand to cup a starch, any kind of starch, brown rice, potatoes, whatever it is, and then put it into a cup, and then see measuring cup, and then see where it is. Is it a half cup? Is it a full cup? And then from then on, you could use the cup, or you could just kind of eyeball it. Okay. Next is your vegetable. Vegetable is very important, and a fist size is one serving size. In order for you to make it a fist size, it has to be compact too. It just can't just be a fist size. So especially for leafy vegetable, if you take three spinach, for example, that's probably going to take up the size of your fist. But if you compact it, there's no way that's going to be the size of your fist. So make sure that you compact your vegetable. That's how much it should be, that to make a fist in that size. Yeah. And then next one is your fat. Fat is awesome. Fat helps you burn fat. However, it is very dense in calories and nutrition, and we can easily overeat on fat. So on this one, your thumb size is the serving size. So be careful with this. Like avocado, for example, depending on your thumb, avocado is anywhere from 3 to 5, maybe even 6 serving size. So make sure, and also depending on the size of the avocado, but make sure that we don't overeat that as well. Yeah. So that's what we're keeping track of, and that's how you're going to measure your food, and you're measuring your serving sizes. Now let's go back to the tier. There's three different tiers. No matter what tier you're doing, I have to have you drink enough water. Half your body weight in fluid ounces of water. Example, if you weigh 200 pounds, then I need you to drink at least 100 ounces of water. If you weigh 100 pounds, then you need to drink 50 ounces of water. Okay? So how do you pick your tier? How do you know what tier you're going to start off of? Okay, look at the tier and ask yourself, how am I eating right now? Am I better than tier one? Am I at tier one? Am I worse than tier one? Whatever it is, if it's worse than tier one, then you're going to start at tier one. If you're at tier one and you're eating close to tier one, then you're going to start at tier two. If you're eating close to tier two or a little bit better than tier two, then you're going to start at tier three. So however you're eating right now, should dictate what tier you're on. Okay, so wherever you are now, the tier right in front of it should be the one you're starting off of. Okay, it's supposed to challenge you. So if you're doing a tier and it's not challenging you, then you're not going to get results. Okay, so make sure that it challenges you. if you have any question on how to pick your tier, which one to do, which one to start off, please let me know, and I will gladly sit down with you or over the phone or email to go over that. Okay, so let me know if you need any help. So here are some plans that I made up for the different tiers. We have tier 1 and tier 2. Before I go into it, I want to make sure that we understand this, that I don't care how many meals you eat throughout the day. I don't care what time you eat, as long as you get all those servings of food in you. Okay, this is very important. And also that you do not switch tier from day to day and week to week. Whatever tier you pick, you have to stay on the same tier. Okay, on the same tier. The reason why is because then it allows me to see, hey, 1 week if you're just getting results and the next week you're not, then we can look back and say, hey, or should we start moving tiers? But if you're moving back and forth between tier 1 and tier 2 and tier 3 every other day or so, I don't know why you're not getting results, right? If you are getting results, it's kind of hard to duplicate it because we don't know why. So make sure that you stay on the same tier and eat all the serving of food. Okay, now the analogy I like to use for this is there's a difference between working out and training. Working out is just moving for the sake of moving. Okay, you could do Zumba one day, strength training the next day, running the following day, right? And then training is that you expect a result at the end of the period, a training period. So, give you an example. If you ever train for a run, a 10K, a half marathon, a full marathon, or even a 5K, right? If you're running for fun, you're gonna run whenever you want to run, whenever and however long you want to run, depending on your mood and how you feel that day. When you're training, you need to run, for a half marathon, you need to be able to run that half marathon by the end of the training period. So it doesn't matter how you feel that week, right? You have to still go out and run the miles that the training programs tell you to. This nutrition program in front of you is the training version of nutrition program. Meaning, I know there's going to be days where you don't want to eat, and there's going to be days where you don't have the appetite to eat all that food, but you have to, right? You have to. In order to get results, well, I know we have to do things that we don't want to in the beginning, okay? So let's go back into some of this sample daily plans here. If you look at this, there's 4 meals on tier 1, and I think there's 4 meals on tier 2 as well. There's 5 meals on tier 2, so it doesn't matter how many meals you eat. Okay, I don't like to call it breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or snack 1 or snack 2. I'd rather call it meal 1, meal 2, because then it gives you a lot more leeway in terms of what kind of foods you eat. Okay, because breakfast, when we say breakfast, we typically think of just breakfast food, but here when you say meal 1, you think of, hey, I could eat chicken rather than an omelet, right? I could have steak or whatever else, right? So take a look at this. Let me know if you have any question. Again, this is just an example. Tier 2 is here. This is for a female that, sorry, for a male that's in tier 2, and this is tier 1 for somebody that's a female. So if you have any question on this, or if you don't know what tier you are, again, please reach out to me so I can make sure that we're on the right tier. Okay. Here's a list of approved food. This is your grocery list, okay? So let's go over it. Proteins, let's go over that first. Normally, and other challenges, we've done fatty protein, and what I recommend for other people is, you could eat fatty protein and still be healthy and still get lean. However, during this challenge, we're trying to get the healthy, lean protein because it is hard to keep track of the fat in the fatty protein, like in a prime rib. You don't know how much fat is in it, and every cut is a little different. So it is hard to keep track of healthy fats in fatty protein. So for this challenge, again, make sure that your protein is as lean as possible. There are 2 exceptions here. One is salmon, the other eggs. Okay, now both of this are a good source of protein. The one serving of each is also a serving of fat. On top of that is also a serving of protein. So again, salmon and eggs, they're both a serving of protein and a serving of fat. Okay, everything else is good. If you're doing egg whites, half a cup of egg whites is equal to one serving. The other thing about protein, then you might not see this on the list, is soy. So there is no soy on this list, and the reason why is soy has a substance called phytoestrogen, meaning that I encourage your body to make more estrogen. Ladies, we don't need more because you produce enough, and guys, we don't need any at all. So don't take any soy product, including tofu, edamame. So make sure that we stay away from that. The only group of people that actually benefit from soy products or soybeans is anybody that's pre-menopause or in menopause. Okay, so make sure if you're not that group, then stay away from soy. Next is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is most fruits. What I mean by most fruits is I actually mean all fruits. When I wrote this, I actually put most fruits because there was a few of them on the top of my mind that I didn't know and I wasn't sure about. So I put most fruits to kind of cover my butt. But I did the research and they're fine. So make sure that all fruits are good. Eat them occasionally. Make sure that you don't eat them every meal. 1 or 2 serving a day is fine. And sometimes if you don't have them, they're actually even better. Fruits are great. I love fruits. That's my vice. But here's the problem with fruits. There's a lot of sugar in them. And any vitamin and mineral that is in them, you could actually find it in vegetable. It is a lot harder to eat vegetable because they don't taste as good. But in terms of fat loss, it's just better if you limit the amount of fruits. Now, there's a list of carbohydrates there. Now, the rule of thumb here is if you could grow it, you could eat it. If you can't grow it, you can't eat it. So these are the list of food that you can eat. So if you look at it, there are a few exceptions, right? Hummus, you can't grow hummus, but hummus is just ground up smashed beans, so that's fine, right? Ezekiel bread, that's the other one that is you can't grow. However, Ezekiel bread is made more of nuts, and there's no flour in it, so that's why it's a part of this approved list. So you can't grow it, you can't eat it. Give an example. Potato, you could grow it, you can eat it. Bread, can't grow it, can't eat it. Okay, so make sure that that you're not eating any processed carbohydrates. Next one is vegetables. Vegetables, there's a list. The darker the green, the better it is. And a mixture of them throughout the day is also good too. So make sure that you get more than one or more than 3, more than 2 vegetables a day. So the more the better. There's a list of vegetables. Now the list of vegetables goes on and on. If you're eating a vegetable that is not on this, please let me know so that way I could approve it or not approve it. The other carbohydrates that's on that list that I'm looking at now and that is carbohydrate that we eat often is corn. Corn is a carbohydrate. However, it doesn't have the same nutritional benefits as the others, so this is why I don't have corn on this list. Yeah. Healthy fats. These are good, all good healthy fats. Your sheet might not have this updated version, so cross out chia seed and cross out flaxseed. Both are great. The only thing is that there are others on this list that is better, and it gives you more benefits as well. So instead of eating flaxseed, you could eat pumpkin seed or just any kind of nuts. Okay, nut butter. Just be careful on over consuming this. And the other one is that be careful that you don't eat peanut. Peanut, same thing with flaxseed and chia seed. Your body does not it just gets more benefits from eating the other nuts, and since there's so many different kind of nuts, it's just why choose the one that is least beneficial for us, right? Olives, extra virgin olive oil are good. Coconut oil, coconut avocado, butter, grass-fed if possible. Grass-fed just means that the cow, the milk that they make butter from is coming from a cow that is grass-fed rather than a hormone and hormone-fed or antibiotics. So yeah. So that's the list of food, okay? Next, we're talking about alcohol. No alcohol during this challenge. Alcohol turns your body, shuts down the ability to burn fat and build muscle. So your body cannot do that for 24 hours to 36 hours. So a day to a day and a half after, a day to 3 days. Sorry, so 24 hours to 72 hours, I apologize. So 1 to 3 days that your body won't be able to burn fat and build muscle, and that kind of defeat the purpose. Yeah. So now foods to avoid: any processed food, anything in the trans fat, any fried food, mayo, white flour, white sugar, anything in the can except for coconut milk and tuna. If you're doing tuna, make sure that the all ingredient in the can is good. So it's just olive oil, tuna, and water and salt, I believe. And coconut milk should just be coconut milk. Okay. So that is what you want to stay away from. Let's talk about stuff that you want to substitute for. Here it talks about milk. So let's talk about dairy real quick. Dairy is a interesting group of food because it has everything. It has protein, it has fat, it has carbs in it. So where we put that? And this is why I don't want you to take dairy, just because it's hard to count where that belongs. And most of us are either lactose intolerant to lactose sensitive. If you're lactose sensitive, your body is going to swell up. If your body is swelling up, then your body has to fix that before it burns fat, and it's just not efficient. Okay. Substitute stevia, agave, and honey for sweeteners. Stevia and agave are not my favorite at this moment. I'm in between. In between with them. I don't know if I like them or not yet. There's studies that have proven both are good. At this moment, they're the better choice. They're one of the better choices out there. So use them. Just keep in mind that down the line I will change my mind on that if I see better research. Next one is processed carbohydrates like bread, pasta, tortilla. You want to substitute that with stuff that you can't grow, you can't eat it. You could grow, you could eat quinoa, potatoes, beans, lentil. You could grow those, you could eat those. Bread, pasta, tortilla, can't grow them, can't eat them. Okay. Condiments. Make sure that when you're doing condiments that there are no added fat or added sugar into it. For example, ranch. It has added fat in it. Okay. Where barbecue sauce has added sugar in it. Barbecue sauce has 8 grams, anywhere from 6 to 8 grams of sugar per tablespoon. So when we're eating it, we're doing more than a tablespoon. So that becomes dangerous. Yeah. So be careful of that. This is the list that you want to use liberally, and this is a list that you want to use moderately. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Nutrition myth. There are 5 nutrition myths here. Now, before I go and explain each one, I want to talk about the difference between correlation and causation. Correlation is something if 2 things are correlated, that means their numbers and whatnot move up and down at the same time, but one does not cause the other, so that's causation. So a lot of nutrition myth is based off of correlation, not causation. Okay, give you an example of the first one. Fat makes you fat. Fat in the body, we look at it and we're like, hey, we have high amount of fat in our body, we want to get rid of it, so let's not eat more fat, right? But research on fat that show that fat does not cause you to gain fat if your body is normal. Yeah. So most of us, I'm gonna say most of us, your body didn't get fat from eating the fatty food, right? Next myth is eating late makes you fat. Eating late does not make you fat. Eating bad makes you fat. Eating bad late makes you fat, right? So give you an example. Most people growing up, go home and that is their biggest meal with the family when all the adults are eating big meals, and then afterward everybody gets dessert, and the adults then get a alcoholic drink after sometimes, right? So all that makes dinner very, very unhealthy, and on top of that you do it a couple hours or a few hours, if not an hour before bed. So after, as soon as you eat, you go and lay down, so you're not active, you're not burning all that off. But if you're eating good food, you don't have to worry about that. So don't worry about eating late. Just eat good food for me. Whole eggs are bad for you. And again, this is correlation because we have high amount of fat in our body, high cholesterol, that we don't want to eat anything that has high of those too. However, now whole eggs has cholesterol and fat, but good cholesterol and good fat. So studies shown that both of those will actually help you decrease cholesterol and decrease fat in your body as well. The interesting part enough is that what causes cholesterol is high intake of bad starchy processed carbohydrates, right? So make sure that you eat whole eggs if you like the taste. Okay. And then eat well all week mean you can have a cheat meal or cheat day. This is false. One cheat meal means that you eat more of good food, not more bad food, just more of good food. In order to have a cheat meal Monday to Saturday, you have to be very, very good down to the ounce and grams of your food, right? You measure everything. However, this program isn't like that, so we don't have that, so we don't have a cheat meal. The other thing that I want to talk about cheat meal is that I don't want you to call it a cheat meal, because if you're calling it a cheat meal, then you're rewarding yourself for doing something bad, right? If you're rewarding yourself for doing something bad, then guess what? In the future, you're just gonna do it more often and more often, and eventually it's just gonna be a lifestyle when you're eating bad food all the time, right? So this is why I don't want you to have a cheat meal or call it a cheat meal, So next one, diet food and non-fat food helps you lose weight. It does not help you lose weight at all. 90 to 90% of the food that I see that's been advertised for fat loss and good for you and fat loss is actually bad for you, or it's actually counterproductive, meaning it actually makes you fatter. Okay, so those are the myths. The most popular one that I always talk to people about. Make sure that we do that. Okay. Here is a list of fast food. Fast food is not the best thing out there, but it is a lifesaver, especially if an emergency comes up or you're just very hectic and the day didn't go, as you planned. Then here is the last thing that you could do, or plan B, if you will. All these restaurants are restaurants around my house. The gyms, both gyms, Cypress and La Habra. This is what I actually order. So just because it's not on this list does not mean you can't eat it. Just mean, hey, let me know and we could always approve it. Like one of the things I'm seeing here that I've been doing a lot lately is Corny Bakery. Corny Bakery has a few good options there. Their salads are amazing. So you could have that. Okay. So this is the cheat sheet for fast food and the grocery list as well. So if you have any question, again, reach out to me, and I will walk you through this again and explain to you again if you need me to, or more in detail. Okay, let's talk about supplements. There are 5 supplements that I'm going to talk about. 2 of them I recommend for the challenge. One of those I highly recommend that you do the rest of your life. And what is that? That's the omega-3s. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about right now. Omega-3 is an essential fatty acid. So what that means is that your body cannot produce it. It has to take it from an outside source. So why do you need it? You need it because your body needs it for to have your brain operate efficiently and correctly. 2 is to make sure that your hormones are balanced and making sure that your hormones are doing what's supposed to. Your body is run by your hormones. So your hormones are off, your whole body is going to operate very weird and inefficient, and in terms of fat loss, it's not going to help much. Yeah. And then the other one is that studies shown that omega-3s actually increase increase your metabolism up to as high as 400 to 500 calories. So that's also great. You have to take that, consistently. So how much do you need to take? You need to take about 25 to 5,000 milligrams, right? That's 2.5 to 5 grams of this. The best source from this is krill oil. Krill oil is what we're looking for. You can get it in fish as well, but krill oil is actually the best source of it because your body absorbs more of it. Okay, plant-based omega-3s do not work because of the way it is, without boring you with too much with chemistry. But there's three type of omega-3s. One of them, ALA, is actually in a lot of that is in plant-based, and what it does is your body doesn't absorb that at all. It's not very efficient at absorbing that, so it doesn't work at all. So make sure that it's either from fish or from krill. Yeah, you need 2.5 to 5 grams. Now we have it at our facility in a capsule form from BioTrust. They are equivalent to about 2,300 milligrams. So you don't have to take it once a day. Rather than if you're doing Costco, you have to do multiple of that throughout the day. Okay, so that's what that is. Okay, that is the one that I highly recommend that you take it from this point forward, because you could eat enough food. You could eat enough food from enough fish, I should say, that allows you to have enough omega 3s. But with fish, a lot of the fish is farmed, and if you're not eating farm raised one, then you're eating wild caught. But if you're eating those, then you have to worry about pollutions. Where the fish was there any oil spill, and that becomes hard to track. Okay, so omega-3s. Next one, I'm highly recommend is your multivitamin. Your multivitamin is crucial. Your body needs them to operate efficiently. It also helps your body absorb other macronutrition and micronutrition better. So if you have enough of it, your body operates a lot better. Yeah, you could get the whole all the multivitamins that you need from fruits and vegetables, assuming that you eat a variety of fruits and vegetables, and most of us don't. We with the way grocery stores are now, they just don't have the wild blend, and if they do, we individually don't do it. We kind of stick with the one we like, a few selections, and it's just again, we don't eat enough variety to get the whole thing. So make sure you eat take a multivitamin to make sure that you have a full complete set. Yeah. Then the other one is protein bars. It's something that I recommend to make your life easier. Your BCAA and your protein shake. Yeah. So those are the three that I highly recommend to make your life easier. Do you need it? No, I do not take protein powder regularly. I take it once in a great while. I do take BCAA on a on a daily, weekly basis, I should say, when I'm getting very active. That's what BCAA is for when you're active, or if you don't like your protein powder or you don't like how it tastes. Amino acids are a really good way to help you recover, just like protein. Amino acids is just a building block of protein, so that's what they are. Okay. And then down here, we talk about protein bars. Just make your life easier as a snack. Now, all of these, there's a lot of good brand out there, but there's a lot more bad brands out there. Okay, I don't want you to, if you don't have any of this right now, you're not taking anything, do yourself a favor and don't buy one without asking for my approval, because I don't want you to waste money on something that's bad and then you don't want to throw it away, and then so you're taking something bad for the next however for the next 5 weeks, and the results is going to suffer. So we carry these here in our facility. Make sure that to help yourself out, just go ahead and buy it from us. We're not a big store. We're not a big facility. We carry those to help you out, to make it easier for you, so that way you don't have to go search for them. As a matter of fact, let me give you this. You should have this in your package as well, in your manual. This is the first time we're doing this, is that we're giving you a discount, inviting you to take our stuff, so that way it just saves you time. And I want I don't want you to worry about the supplements and taking the wrong one. Okay. There's a starter kit and there's an active kit. Here, a starter kit only has 3 things: your protein shake, your daily essential is your multivitamins, your omega krills, your essential fatty acids, or your omega 3s. And then for the active, if you're working out or active more than 5 hours a week, you want to do the active kit, which has the BCAA in it. Okay. Now, plant-based versus weight-based. Plant-based down here, the Vega, it just means that, hey, if you're lactose intolerant or you don't like like milk source supplement, then here, take the Vega kit. They're plant-based and they work really well. Yeah. So those are the supplements, and again, you don't have to take all of them. I just recommend the krill, omega krill, and the essential multivitamin. Yeah. The protein, the reason why they're in the starter kit, because it helps so much as a snack, as a recovery after a workout. It does a lot of different things. Now, if you want to only buy one of the items because you have the others at home, then you get 10% off of any single purchase. If you buy the package, there's 20% discount, I believe. There's just only one discount per person that's in the challenge, just because we don't, like I said, we don't make much from them, cover our costs and expenses in terms of having our team buy them and stock them and whatnot. But so it's there, right? If any questions about what you need to take on top, or if you're taking something that we haven't talked about, please let me know, so that way I could approve it and making sure that it's not holding you back from getting better results. Okay. And that's pretty much the whole nutrition program. Now, here are some frequent asked questions. I want you to go read that through. I'm going to go over 2 questions for you, or with you, I should say. One is question number 4, and then question number 8. Question number says, how do you track food that are not easily measured using your hands, things like eggs, protein powder, and etc. Right? So I want you to highlight this and make a note of this. Okay, anything that protein that has 25 grams to 30 grams of protein is considered 1 serving of protein. I could go as low as 20 grams of protein. So you could do anything that's as low as 20 grams of protein to 30 grams of protein. Anything less than 20 grams, 19.9, is not a serving of protein. So keep that in mind. Carbs and fats, anything that's 10 grams to 15 grams of carbs is 1 serving of carbs. If it has 30 grams of carbs, then it's 2 serving of carbs. Okay. Now this is more for processed food. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Yoplait yogurt has 15 grams of carbs and 12 grams of protein. So with that amount of carbs is actually 1 serving of carbs, and with only 12 grams of protein, it's not even a serving of protein yet. So when you're eating that, make sure that you note that, hey, that is more 1 gram of 1 serving of carb and not a serving of protein. Yeah. And then other protein shakes as well. If you have one right now that is 18 grams of protein and 8 grams of carbs, in order for you to make that a serving of protein, you have to double it, so it becomes 36 grams of protein and 16 grams of carbs, or 1.5 serving of that. So then if you do 1.5 serving of that, it's going to give you roughly 27 grams of protein and 12 grams of carbs. So if you're doing that, then that's 1 serving of protein and also 1 serving of carbs. Okay, that is fine. Just count the carbs so that way you don't overeat your carbs on your tier. Okay, so that is question number 4. Question number 8. How about recipes that do not fit exactly portion sizes, like soup and chili? So those two, definitely we make them often. So how do you count those? Okay, first when you make them just like the recipe says. But when you scoop out for yourself, make sure that you scoop out the protein first, and put it in the bowl, and then you know, put out the carbohydrates, the vegetable, and the fat separately. And then when you put it in your bowl, you could, you know, mix them all up so that way they taste like they're supposed to. But when you serve yourself, scoop out individually so you know how to track that. Okay, so that's pretty much those frequently asked questions. Read through them. If you have any other questions that is not there, let me know and I will help you with that. Right? Answer those questions for you. Here is an example of a nutrition post. I want to go over this with you to make sure that you're posting like you're supposed to. Okay. The first thing here is on top, you put what tier you're supposed to do and what is your goal for that day. Okay. Now the tier has a range of macronutrition that you're supposed to follow. How much protein is they need? You know, this is for guys, I believe, 4 to 6 protein, 6 to 8 vegetable, 1 carbohydrates, and 2 to 3 fat. So my goal for this day was 5 protein, 6 vegetables, 1 carbohydrate, 2 fat, and 70 ounces of water. I weigh roughly about 130, so a little bit more than that. So half of that's 65, but I like to drink a little bit more than half my body weight. So that's what tier you that you're supposed to do. What your goal should be for that day. The middle of the body of the post is what you ate that day. Right? Make sure that you put the serving size. So Quest bar is 1 serving of protein. Right? Breakfast 3 eggs, 1 sausage. Baby squash, quinoa, that's about 2 protein, 2 vegetables, 1 carbs is from the quinoa, and 1 fat because I cooked it in you know, in coconut oil. Now, lunch, I had beef with mini bell pepper, spinach, and mushroom cooked with half a serving grass-fed butter. So I have 1 protein, 2 vegetable. There's a typo. It should be 1 fat because of that grass-fed butter, right? So dinner, beef with spinach and baby squash and mini bell pepper cooked with a half serving of grass-fed butter is 1 protein, 2 vegetable, and then 1 fat, right? So that's where what that is. Now I make the correction. Breakfast 3 eggs is 1 serving of protein and automatically 1 serving of fat. So I probably didn't cook that with coconut oil. So it's just probably 1 fat from the egg itself. Okay, so what's the total of it? Add all the stuff that you ate. So total is 5 protein, 6 vegetables, 1 carbohydrate, and it should be 3 fat. So and then I overate on the fat, right? Water, I consumed 70 ounces, and these are the supplements I took: krill oil, multivitamin, vitamin C, and BCAA. So that's what that is. Now, I know I threw a lot of information at you, but if you get overwhelmed, I don't want you to not do anything, okay? Imperfect action beats no action any day. So I want you to take imperfect action, meaning, hey, let's just focus on 3 things right now. Eating, working out 3 to 5 times a week, eat more protein and vegetables, post your meals daily, no matter how good or bad it is, so that way I could take a look at it and commit. The 4th one is make that commitment to be better every day. Okay, make that commitment to be better every day, and then from there, you know, you will get better, and the results are going to get better, and it's just going to get easy because you're making that commitment. All right. If you have any questions, please email me at nutrition.fitbody@gmail.com. Okay. Now, you could call me, you could email me, you could leave a message on Facebook. What I mean by that, let me take that. You cannot message me on Facebook, but you could write on in the group page, so that way it tagged me so I could read it. But the reason why you can't message me on Facebook is because our team go on my Facebook and they grab information from there, and sometimes they have to go into the message area to grab information, and when they do, guess what happened? When I get into it, the notification that you sent a message isn't there, so I don't read it, and I don't see it, I don't read it, and I can't answer it. And I want to make sure that I get to you and answer all your questions to help you reach your goal. Again, so email me, call me, leave, write a post on the Facebook page. Don't message me on Facebook. Okay? I'll talk to you soon.